Hey, folks. So once again, corporate media is amping up its fear tactics against Jill Stein, Cornel West, Chase Oliver, and anyone else that's running as an independent or third-party candidate in any election. But most notably, their targets are on the presidential race because corporate media, especially the big brain geniuses at DNC, are saying now a vote for Dr. Jill Stein is a vote for Trump. Now, this is factually incorrect because a vote for Jill Stein is a vote for Jill Stein. A vote for Chase Oliver is a vote for Chase Oliver. A vote for Dr. Cornel West is a vote for Dr. Cornel West. And yes, while RFK Jr. has dropped out, there are some states that still have his name in, even though he's endorsed Trump. Hey, guess what? If people still want to vote for him, fine. But he's encouraged his supporters, hey, support Donald Trump. And as always, a vote for Trump is a vote for Trump, and a vote for Kamala is a vote for Kamala. Very basic things. This is stuff that you, my audience, know. But unfortunately, corporate media still has many people hypnotized, especially the BSDNC media outlets, CNN included, ABC, CBS, New York Times, Washington Post. They're all promoting the same misinformation that if you're voting for Jill Stein, you're somehow voting for Trump or helping Trump. Well, I didn't get that memo. I am not a Republican voter. I am not a Democrat voter. I am a third-party voter. And this is very basic mathematics. Okay? Now, the thing is, it's been a very, very, very long time since a third-party candidate has won or secured an electoral college vote. Now, it is not my fault, Democrats, that you guys are panicking. But what I do hold you, Democrats, liberal establishment, the vote blue no matter who media sphere, and corporate media, I hold you guys accountable for spreading misinformation and fake news about the fact that if you're going to vote or somebody's going to vote for Jill Stein, they're somehow helping Trump. Well, gee, corporate media, what next? I mean, is this all that you have? Fear tactics? I mean, we all know that Kamala is an incompetent fool at this point, and that how the fact that she's still tied up with Trump, even despite everything. I mean, it really says a lot about you, corporate media, and you Democrats as well. I mean, if you are so proud and strong, you'd actually have the courage and the audacity to maybe debate Jill Stein. But I don't think you could do that. I don't think Kamala has what it takes. And you know what? Even a surrogate like AOC doesn't have what it takes. But you don't have to take my word for it. Let's listen to the big brain geniuses at BSDNC. Wait a minute. Jill Stein blew it for Hillary Clinton. Will she do the same for Kamala Harris? You want to know who blew it for Hillary Clinton? It was Hillary Clinton. She was a piss poor candidate, and the DNC committed election fraud that denied Bernie Sanders the nomination. Even though I wish we all knew that Bernie Sanders was the nutless cuck that he was, it is not our fault that Democrats couldn't inspire people to vote or get excited for Hillary Clinton, just like how people aren't excited for Kamala Harris. Democrats, get over yourselves. Come on. And I understand there's no audio, so let me go ahead and rewind that. I am very sorry for that inconvenience there, folks. So let's get started again. I am very sorry for that inconvenience.
New concerns third-party candidate Jill Stein could once again play the role of spoiler against Democrats and help Donald Trump win re-election in November. As the Green Party candidate, Stein won votes in 2016 that would have likely gone to Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton. The DNC now launching a new ad reaching out to Stein voters.
She's not sorry she helped Trump win.
Okay. Now, again, as I was saying before, Democrats need to get over themselves. You want to know who blew it for Hillary Clinton? It was Hillary Clinton. She ran a piss poor campaign. It is not our fault that she doesn't know how to inspire voters, just like very similar to Kamala.
That's why a vote for Stein is really a vote for Trump.
Jill Stein, I like her very much. You know why? She takes 100% from them.
Joining me now, Tom Rogers, Executive Chairman of Orbit Gaming and Entertainment and Editor-at-Large at Newsweek. Tom wrote that article about Jill Stein, and I welcome you.
He looks like a smug liberal. Look at him. That's this. You want to know who's peddling stuff like third parties or spoilers? It's people that look like this. People that look like this. Smug, arrogant, humorless pricks. There. This is the face. Doesn't this look like a face you could trust? Hold on. Hold on. You know what? I'm going to be an egomaniac here. Who do you trust more about explaining the real power of third parties and the impact they can make? A guy who looks like this, type 1 for him, because he's an authoritative source, or your jolly good friend, Kit Cabello? Which face do you trust? Type 2 if it's Kit.
Tom, good to see you. So give me a sense of the profile of the Jill Stein or the Green Party voter. And will this DNC ad that we just played get those people something to consider? Or does a third party voter just want to make a statement?
Well, that third-party voter in 2016 that voted for Jill Stein was very much a disaffected Bernie Sanders voter and was heavily targeted. Many suggest Russian money was fueling her campaign on social media.
Oh, God. Oh, it's Russian money, disenfranchised Bernie Sanders. Hey, don't forget corporate media. You did something pretty bigoted back in the day. Because in 2016, and yes, even in 2020, corporate media, you were saying that all Bernie Sanders supporters and volunteers were straight white males. So congratulations, Latinos, Black people, Asian people, everybody. For that one moment in time, you were all white males. Congratulations. Then Russian money, because Russiagate, because we have to have in Russia, right? Ooh.
She didn't run in 2020. In 2024, a lot of the campaign seems to be aimed at the anti-Israel vote. It is certainly a vote that's intended to characterize Kamala Harris as not progressive enough. Certainly it's a protest vote, but it clearly comes out of Harris's hide. I think that ad is totally correct. It is something that's 100% a drag on Harris.
So in this new NBC News poll, VP Harris and Trump, they're both tied. They're at 48%. But then when third-party candidates are included, Tom, the Trump-Vance ticket gets the edge. And about 4.
Well, wait a minute. Hold on. There's also Chase Oliver. There's also Robert F. Kennedy Jr. There's also people who are undecided. Now, again, as we have pointed out before, RFK Jr.'s campaign is suspended. He has endorsed Donald Trump. Simple as that. People can think whatever they want on that, but it is not my fault that Trump has an edge. I don't know, Democrats. I mean, even then, even without Stein, I mean, look at this. Again, 47-46. It shouldn't be this bad. I mean, theoretically, if the Democrats actually really gave a damn, especially even way back in 2016, they could have easily beat Trump if they wanted to. But they're so arrogant and smug that, hey, they'd rather lose to Trump than have any kind of real progressive chance. So Democrats, you already shot yourself in the foot on this one. So explain to me why anyone who's independent or undecided should even consider supporting for Kamala Harris. Instead of looking at, oh, it's Jill Stein's fault or anybody else's fault, why is it that Harris and Walz are incapable of beating Trump? Why? You need to ask yourself the reason why. And you can't hide behind racism or sexism or bigotry. Maybe it's because people are judging Kamala on the content of her character and they think that she sucks. I don't know. Maybe that's a controversial statement. Maybe that's a bridge too far, but I don't know.
4% of voters go for third-party candidates. Stein gets 1%. How significant could that 1% be in November?
Well, of course, that's a national poll, and this really comes down to the swing states. And when you're talking about 1 or 2% of the vote going to a third-party candidate and the margin of errors in these state polls, it's really hard to assess where that third-party vote is. What we do know is not only Jill Stein, but Cornel West is on the Wisconsin and Michigan ballot.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Listen, Cornel West is not a threat, okay? His campaign was nothing more than a fart in the wind, but whatever. Okay. You're making a mountain out of a molehill.
Stein is on all the swing states except Nevada, and both of them together could meaningfully make a difference, particularly when it comes to that far left of center anti-Israel vote, particularly with the Arab community, Arab American community in Michigan, which a lot seems to be focused on voting for Jill Stein rather than Harris. Of course, that commercial hit it just right. A vote for Stein, a vote for West is a vote for Trump. And
no, it's not. And did you ever ask maybe any of those Arab and Muslim voters why they don't want to vote for Kamala? Maybe why some of those voters would even consider voting for Trump or Stein or whoever? Did you bother to do your job, corporate media, to talk to those people? Did you talk to any of those Arab or Muslim voters? You know, and also Kamala and the Democrats aren't doing themselves any favors by talking down to black men or black women or Latino men or Latino women or anything of that nature. I mean, it seems to me the people who are blowing this campaign, no pun intended, is Kamala herself and her advisors. Get your minds out of the gutter. What's wrong with all of you?
And finally, the campaign is going at that hard. I'm glad to see that they're devoting some ad money to that, because we know these swing states are going to come down to 1-2% of the vote, and this could make all the difference.
I want to look at some numbers, because you wrote that in 2016, Trump's margin of victory in Pennsylvania was 44,292 votes. Stein's vote was 49,941. Michigan, Trump's margin was 10,704, and Stein's vote was 51,463. Moving to Wisconsin, Trump's margin was 22,748, Stein's vote 31,072. Is there any chance, Tom, she's going to come close to those numbers this year?
Well, you'd be surprised. We didn't have Stein on the ballot in 2020. We did have a libertarian candidate on the ballot that nobody ever heard of, and still nobody's ever heard of. When I asked some very politically astute people, you remember Jo Jorgensen, the libertarian candidate in 2020? She got close to 1% of the vote in the swing states. People didn't know if Jo Jorgensen was a man or a woman. She's a woman. So total non-name recognition candidates can garner that kind of vote. What's particular?
We actually interviewed Jo Jorgensen way back in 2020. We you know, it's corporate media. I'm not going to tell you or your politically astute pundits, but maybe if you stop smelling your own wazoos, maybe, I don't know, you'd actually be more aware what's happening on the ground. This should tell you that corporate media and all these elite people are not serious and they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Particularly difficult is that in 2020, Trump got the same percentage of the vote in those swing states as he did in 2016. What changed was that Biden increased his percentage of the vote without meaningful third-party vote being on the ballot this time, meaning it's fair to assume that Biden's margin was largely a function of picking up vote that had gone third-party in 2016. So that's why it's particularly worrisome. I think you are going to have RFK Jr. on the ballot still in a number of states. Nationally, it matters, possibly in Michigan and Wisconsin, although he's thrown his support to Trump. So unlikely to see that much third-party vote actually going to him in the swing states. You do have a libertarian candidate on there again. Unclear how libertarian vote drains in terms of the Democratic candidate versus the Republican candidate. But we do know that Stein and West are going to drain from Harris. We know it's going to be razor-thin margins, and we know the difference between 2016 and 2020 was probably the third-party vote.
Okay. Tom Rogers, thank you for your time.
No, all right, Tom Rogers, no, thank you not for your time. Yeah. By the way, your hair really looks messed up, man, okay? I mean, this is the guy that's trying to propagate the fear of third parties. This is what these people look like, okay? They're smug, they're arrogant, they're weak, they're incompetent, and you know what? They're uneducated too, okay? Because this whole propaganda of a spoiler candidate, you can't spoil something that's already rotten. But hold on, if you guys want to see some real scummy behavior, here's Representative Debunking I almost said Dingleberry. Talks about dirty tricks in Michigan, saying Trump and Jill Stein are sending out mailers to voters, actually speculating about Dr. Jill doing it. What, corporate media? No. Hold on, folks. Listen to this very carefully. So corporate media, the people at DNC, the unserious people that they are now saying that Trump and Dr. Jill Stein are working together. Remember, folks, corporate media has also helped promote people like Mark Cuban to say that Trump is also a communist. And Obama himself said, Trump, he's like Fidel Castro. That's right, Trumpers. Now you know our pain. Now all of you are communists. And that was the plan the whole time. My plan has come into fruition. Evil Kit, once again, outsmarts everybody.
And dirty tricks have started in this state as well.
And well, lastly and briefly, tell us about what you mean by those dirty tricks.
So Donald Trump is doing, or somebody connected to the Donald Trump camp.
Okay, listen to this. No proof, but just dirty tricks. Oh, you got gossip? Give us the gossip, representative.
Is doing, or somebody connected to the Donald Trump campaign is doing. So, for instance, the Mideast community, the Jewish community, are two communities that are super hurting in this state right now. And each of them has been receiving mails throughout the state where these communities live, where the Jewish community is receiving anti-Semitic mail on the Vice President and Governor Walz, and the Muslim community has been receiving pro-Israel mail.
Pics or it didn't happen. Okay? It's like a dude say, oh man, dude, I took the hottest girl out, man. We had a great time. Pics or it didn't happen. Pics or it didn't happen. Okay, so people in the mail. Okay, so right now an accusation is being made that the Jewish community is getting anti-Semitic mail and that the Muslim community is getting pro-Israeli mail. Okay, well, who's doing this? I mean, it's one thing to vilify maybe Trump or Jill Stein, but you want to know who also plays dirty tricks? The Democrats. I mean, Democrats, and then put the blame on somebody else. I mean, if you're making accusations, I can make accusations too, right? Anybody can. Where's the proof? Evidence. See, this is how, again, they propagate the fear of third parties.
On the Vice President and Governor Harris. And then Jill Stein, I'm told I have it. I'm told it came from her. I probably should have said that because I haven't documented that one.
Okay. So you shouldn't have said that because. So in other words, you're talking out of your ass.
It's also sending out It's an old dirty trick, but the dirty trick is alive and well, and a lot of money is being spent on the mail of that as well.
Well, we certainly know you sounded the alarm for Democrats there about Michigan in 2016, doing so again now. 3 weeks ago, Democratic Congresswoman Debbie Dingell of Michigan, thank you. We'll speak to you again soon.
All right. Thank you, Dingleberry. So what can we learn from this? What can we learn from this in regards to the Democrats? They are pulling out whatever they can do to make people be afraid of voting for third party. Now, I don't care if Trump wins, okay? I don't care. I don't care. And of course, there's going to be liberals like, blah, 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 this will happen. No. I mean, how could it get any worse? I mean, liberals in 2020, you guys and gals don't want to be, dismiss anybody. But all of you were saying that if Trump gets reelected in 2020, we're going to have World War III, a crumbling economy, divisiveness, labor shortage, a crumbling infrastructure. And if we don't stop Trump and help Biden, things will get bad. Oh, wait, Biden got into office. We got World War III. We got a crumbling economy. We got unchecked corruption. We got a crumbling infrastructure. We got Americans struggling day in, day out. So, in other words, all this fear of Trump, yet you're promoting Kamala, and Kamala herself has said that she wouldn't change anything. So, in other words, nothing would fundamentally change if Kamala was president during those 4 years under Biden. Maybe voters don't like that, and they want to look at something new. It's not my fault that you broke your coalition. It's not my fault that you broke your promises. Democrats, it is not my fault that voters are actually being free thinkers and choosing who they want to represent them and who they want to give their vote to. So, in other words, the bullying is going to be intensifying these next couple of days, but it's going to be pathetic. And so here's what I'm going to encourage you, my audience. Stand up to these people. Push back. It is okay to be aggressive. It is okay to be unapologetic. It is okay to be mean. Be meaner. You don't owe these liberals anything. You don't owe them an explanation. But if they start coming at you, you have every right to talk some smack to them. Live rent-free in their head. Hardlens Media says this. We encourage you to do your own research, but we also encourage you to consider voting third party and independent. Now, we're not going to endorse a candidate. We're not going to do anything like that. You make your own choice. You make your own choice as you're free to do, as you should all the time, every time. You don't owe the Democrats a vote, and corporate media is getting desperate. So at the end of the day, let's just have this poll in one more time. When it comes down to discussing third parties, what face do you trust? Do you trust a guy who looks like this? I mean, my goodness, look at this. And do you trust it? Type 1 if you trust somebody that looks like this. Ay, ay, ay. Do you trust him to explain to you about the impact of third parties? Or do you trust a guy like this? Type 2 if that's your answer. Type in the comment section below. And let's have some real democracy in the chat. The correct answer is 2, by the way.